Hello everybody, welcome to the first ever video of Ratchet Repairs. My name is Erwin, and in this video series I'm going to talk about customizing, painting and 3D printing parts for customization on Transformers figures, because there's always something to improve on the Masterpiece series and the third-party products. In the first ever video I'm going to talk about this figure here. It's Legendary Toys LC03, LC03C. It's a knockoff version of the Masterpiece movie Bumblebee figure. I like the figure a lot. It's a decent Camaro and it's a decent Bumblebee, so it's one of the best figures actually, in my opinion, you can buy at the moment. First off, I really like the figure, but it's not the Bumblebee as seen in any of the movies. It's quite a generic Camaro. It's actually the 2008 to 2012 version, which is the first introduction of the retro-looking Camaro. In the first two movies, Bumblebee wasn't actually a Camaro, but a Pontiac GTO with a body, a fiberglass body, made by the studio that made the movie vehicles. I'm sorry about that, because the original Camaro wasn't out yet. And in the second movie they just changed the bumper and some other bits and bobs and called it a new improved version. In the Dark of the Moon movie, actually, the Bumblebee that was used was a Camaro. It was the SS version with some modifications, and it's also going to be the Bumblebee I'm going to make out of this one. Yeah, let's talk about the figure itself at first, before we go into any of the modding. The things I have with the figure that I don't like that much is it's not really the right color. It's quite yellow, but the movie version was actually more of a goldenish color, which was a white pearl base coat with several layers of a sunset yellow over it to make it more of a golden color to start with. So we're going to do that as well. And if we're going to take a look at the Bumblebee that was used in Dark of the Moon, we're going to I'm going to put up a picture right here, how it's going to look and what needs to look like and what we need to do to make this one into that one. First things that come apparent is the fog lights used on this figure around, which are the same way they were in the 2007 version, but that one actually had a different piece over here with the slot in it. It needs the blacked out window frame, which always improves a figure, by the way, especially on Bumblebee. It doesn't have the correct wheels. The wheels on Bumblebee in the first movie actually were hubcaps over steel wheels with really thin tires. The same goes for the 2009 movie Revenge of the Fallen. Also wheel hubcaps, and in the third movie it actually has proper wheels, which I'll get to in a bit. It had 4 exhaust pipes instead of the 2 we have on this part. And the hood was slightly different. It had like this air intakes here. The stripe pattern, but that's a paint thing, was also a different way of doing it. And yeah, there was a big spoiler and an extra air dam, I think it's called, in the front, which we'll get to in a bit as well. But yeah, that was the figure the way it is and how it should be. So let's talk vehicle mode first. In order to make this into the Dark of the Moon version, I'm going to need new wheels, and I 3D printed these a little earlier. As you can see, I added the additional spokes, the smaller tire. It's a little bit out there, and it has the proper tire profile on it, because the figure we have doesn't have that. It's just like a flat piece of plastic and it doesn't look good. So I made these wheels myself. I scaled them down and I made them exactly the same outer diameter as the ones on the inside of the Camaro. I also made hood pieces, which you can see here. They need to be sanded down a bit, but these will replace these parts. And I'm still working out how to improve on the bumper. I actually made a bumper right here in 3D from a model, and it has the correct headlights, the correct shape of where the grille needs to go. So I need to find out how to transfer the square version over to the bumpers Bumblebee has at the moment to improve upon the figure. And of course the spoiler, I made the one as well. Still figuring out how to place it, because the original one has feet in these places, as you see what I made on the 3D printed version I have here. And putting it on Bumblebee, you can actually, sorry about that, you can see that it's a little bit too high, because I was thinking of sliding it inside the body. But at the moment I'm thinking of putting it on there and make sure it looks decent enough. That way I can actually just put it on there, have it stick to the middle bit that folds in with the rest of Bumblebee into his chest, and that way it will look good enough and will work the way it should. So that's the second video, but first let's get down to transforming this one. I'm not going to transform it because there are so many videos about this guy. Just check MGO or Ben's Collectibles to see the transformation bit on him. And then I'll show him a robot mode and what we need to do over there to make him look a little bit better. So here we're back with Bumblebee as, well, Bumblebee in his robot mode. First thing I wanted to discuss is the robot mode didn't change much over the movies, except in the fourth movie. I did notice that I forgot to click in a bit. I'm sorry about fiddling on camera. So here we are. The Bumblebee actually remained the same in all of the movies except for Age of Extinction, in which he took like the odd shape that was actually based on Stinger. In Dark of the Moon, however, it's basically this robot with he had the spoilers hanging from his back over there instead of the windows which he had in later movies. I'm not going to touch on that because it's I don't think I can do anything with it other than just attaching the spoiler to that, and that would just look wrong. And it had like this chest piece going over the headlights, linking it all together. I can show some pictures up in here later on. But for me, the thing to do with him is just I'm going to adjust his paint and make him look like the way he should. And I'm going to look into the chest piece, and he had like this better pronounced wings next to his head over these. These are just a little bit too blocky. So I'm going to see what I can do to incorporate those kind of bits in him, and that will be the next video in which I'll show. I need to stop fiddling with him, sorry. Basically these need to be redone. He needs to have like the piece over his chest, making it look better. He basically remains the same all over. He's going to need a little bit better paint, and the mirrors need to be blacked out, and then he'll be good to go to be a Dark of the Moon Bumblebee. So that will be what my next video will be all about. Some side notes on Bumblebee. This one comes with the axe, which he did only have in the Last Night. In that movie he came out with the hammer. But yeah, Dark of the Moon Bumblebee from this one will have a better paint job, some odds and ends to go on his vehicle mode, and a better pronounced robot mode as well. I think the paint will do a lot for this figure, making him better. So my next video will be up once this is up in I think a couple of days, and then we'll have Bumblebee shown in his reduced state, because first thing to do with any customization option is to take it all apart and make it into something better. So the next video will be showing you what I'll be doing for the modifications and how I'm going to do everything to do this. Okay, thank you for staying with me on this very first video, and I hope you'll be back for the second. I think the YouTube system works with likes and subscriptions, so feel free to add me to your favorites. You can always remove me if you don't like the channel. But if I piqued your curiosity, I hope you stay with me, and I'll do my best to improve in the future. Thank you. I just remembered I forgot something. I always want to talk about scale. One of the things I'm infamous for at TWF 2005, which is a forum about Transformers. So coming down to Bumblebee, let's talk scale as well. It is about 18 centimeters tall, which is, I think it's roughly about 8 inches. And in vehicle mode it's 16.5 centimeters or 7 point something inches. I'll put it in the description down below. So this makes Bumblebee in vehicle mode 128.7 scale. There's that, I wanted to add it as well. So I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.